Through time and space, we shape our reality, stretching the bounds of technology to fit the contours of imagination. Decoding the mysteries of life, we sow the seeds of progress for the next generation. Unlocking hidden potential, we explore new ecosystems for intelligent manufacturing. Awakening vast oceans of data, we spark the evolution of an abundance of models. The universe is an infinite treasure trove, amassed over countless moments. In our pursuit of faster, more reliable, and more resilient storage solutions, we will redefine every second of humanity's journey ahead.
Who are you?
I am a helper, combining the wisdom of a million programmers.
I am a trainer, enabling robots to navigate complex environments with ease.
I am a healer, lifting patient care to new heights with next-gen cures.
I am a transformer, wielding the power to reinvigorate animation.
I am AI, new data fabric, paradigm, and resilience. These present big opportunities to hand as data awakens. I am data that's everywhere. Yet it must be properly harnessed for AI to fulfill its potential. Data awakening is surely a paradigm shift already reshaping industry far and wide. And while data must be accessible, it must also be free to flow and be safeguarded, wherever it is, and in whatever form it takes. So, be the catalyst for data infrastructure innovation. Seize the opportunity to thrive in the age of AI.
Starting from the binary number 1, we have created billions of bits of data that is powering the world. Coding has opened up a whole new world. In the large AI model era, a sea of data is shaping and fueling industries and redefining our roles in the world. Intelligent programming goes beyond traditional coding. It unleashes creativity and breaks down complex problems into simple code. The boundary between the physical and virtual worlds is becoming increasingly blurred. The ability to capture the finest of details in stunning ultra-high definition is revolutionizing the film and television industry. The genetic code has been converted into data, and we can use it as both a sword and a shield against disease. China's 7-minute genome sequencing process marks the start of a new chapter in medical treatments. Data is the cornerstone of the large AI model era. The next-gen AI beings in this era will help us adapt to changes in a wider range of scenarios. Data determines how successful AI will be. Huawei Storage takes a data-centric approach and is working to help reshape industries.
With every passing moment, zeros become ones and ones become zeros. Unseen, they aggregate and accelerate. And from this emerges intelligence. From the complexity, we distill simplicity. Building an intelligent foundation. Facing bottlenecks, we strive for breakthroughs, enabling digital pathology systems. Hurtling through time and space, we shape our reality, stretching the bounds of technology to fit the contours of imagination. Decoding the mysteries of life, we sow the seeds of progress for the next generation. Unlocking hidden potential, we explore new ecosystems for intelligent manufacturing. Awakening vast oceans of data, we spark the evolution of an abundance of models. The universe is an infinite treasure trove, amassed over countless moments. In our pursuit of faster, more reliable, and more resilient storage solutions, we will redefine every second of humanity's journey ahead.
Are backed up by our Huawei storage experts.
Huawei actually introduced the Ocean Store Pacific to our system. So with this we reached actually 18 gigabyte, which means that we really drastically lowered the copy time.
We adopted Ocean Store solution, and this is why we were able to bring data acceleration into our infrastructure.
So, the time to build solid digital infrastructure is now. As a company, Huawei's vision and mission drive us to continuously innovate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the keynotes are about to begin. Please take your seats and ensure that your mobile phones and other electronic devices are on silent. Thank you.
What are you expecting? Evolution. It brings forth knowledge. And when knowledge meets data, intelligence awakens. Through perception, iteration, and enablement, AI is evolving at speed. When data flows and collaborates across regions, it powers a future-ready world. When years and years of research have harvested, more precise breeding models take shape. When data is sufficiently backed up and protected, new business potential is unlocked. When massive diagnostic data meets algorithms, medical details are truly handled with care. When data flows across regions, collaboration powers a future-ready world. AI is accelerating, unlocking new possibilities across all industries.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Huawei Innovative Data Infrastructure Forum 2026. A golden age of data driven by AI is unfolding before us, and the token economy is accelerating at full speed. Underpinning all of this is data as the foundation and intelligence as the compass. Huawei is committed to building leading data infrastructure that rides the wave of intelligence, aggregates massive amounts of high-value data, boosts data processing efficiency, and guarantees data resilience. Our goal is to empower a vast range of industries to unlock new opportunities and drive sustainable growth. Today, we come together with thought leaders, business leaders, technical experts, and partners from all over the world to discuss how to build a future-oriented, innovative data infrastructure to thrive in the intelligent era. So let us kick off with the opening speech in a video from Executive Director, CEO of the ICT Business Group Huawei, Mr. Yang Xiaobin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paris and the Huawei IDI Forum 2026. On behalf of Huawei, I'd like to thank our guests for joining us today and also offer thanks to you, our customers and partners, for your continued trust and support. Right now, we are at a key stage in the shift from early AI exploration to large-scale AI adoption. Over 30 million AI agents are already collaborating worldwide. This number is expected to reach more than 2.2 billion by 2030. In short, AI is expanding productivity and reshaping how businesses work and grow. To turn the vision of an intelligent world into reality, Huawei is pushing forward its all-intelligence strategy at speed. We're maintaining focus on ICT products, building a robust digital foundation. We're also creating competitive, scenario-specific solutions for customers, helping a vast range of industries speed up their journey toward intelligent transformation. We believe that the depth of digitalization will ultimately determine how far intelligence can go. As computing power, algorithms, and models continue to evolve, the way that massive data is created, transferred, analyzed, and retained is becoming much more complex. This is raising new demands on data infrastructure, while also opening up opportunities for transformation in the storage industry itself in three major ways. First, all flash storage will become the standard in AI data centers. With SSDs, we can fully unlock high performance and reliability, enabling faster and more stable data processing under AI workloads. Next, the data paradigm is fundamentally shifting. Storage now supports richer data semantics and formats, enabling large models to easily understand and use data, moving AI from merely usable to truly well utilized. Third, we will continue to push sustainability forward. with better data reduction algorithms, we continue to lower energy consumption and reduce the storage footprint for greener data centers. Looking toward the future, data will no longer be a static crude oil, but a living resource flow that continuously creates value. Data infrastructure will therefore become a key driver in the intelligent era. Data awakening, infra evolving. I wish great success for the forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yang Xiaobin, for your really inspiring opening remarks in the video. Now, data infrastructure has emerged as the cornerstone of the intelligent era. It also presents unprecedented opportunities for Europe's digital and intelligent transformation. Now, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Willy Song, President of Huawei European Enterprise Business, to deliver the welcome speech. Welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, warmly welcome you to the Huawei IDI Forum 2026. On behalf of Huawei, I would really like to give you a warm welcome and also a huge thanks to our customers and partners for your long-term support. Today, AI is changing our world faster than ever. It is reshaping how we live, how we work, and how economics grow. Europe is the birthplace of modern industry. Over the next 10 years, intelligent transformation will be the biggest opportunity. But we must remember one thing. There is no AI without data. Data is growing rapidly, and data infrastructure is becoming more important. Since the EU released the AI Continent Action Plan in 2025, Europe has made great progress. 19 AI factories has been built, and 5 AI super factories are on the way. By building high-quality datasets, Europe is speeding up AI adoption and moving fast to become a global AI leader. At Huawei, with our all-intelligent strategy and 29 R&D centers in Europe, we are ready to drive this transformation together with you. First, we will deliver leading products and solutions to unlock the full potential of the digital economy. Our storage products have already used in over 150 countries and regions, serving more than 30,000 customers. 53 of the world's top 100 banks have chosen Huawei, which shows the deep confidence our customers place in us. So looking ahead, we will drive forward our all-flash strategy and upgrade data sets with advanced SSD technology. For 4 years in a row, Huawei have been named a Gartner Peer Insights for customer choice for OceanStor Dorado all-flash storage. This award proves the top performance and the reliability of our product and the trust of our customers. Second, we are fully committed to Europe's green transformation. Our OceanStor Pacific offers the highest storage capacity density in the industry. For example, at a leading education institution, it helped cut power use by 20%. Also, with innovative data reduction algorithms, our Ocean Protect can store 40% more data in the same space. Europe is one of Huawei's most important markets. We will stick to our in Europe, for Europe strategy and even work even closer to our customers and partners. At this forum, we will share our latest industry insights, products, and solutions. We will also hear the successful stories directly from our customers and partners. So together, we can build a smarter, more intelligent future for European industry. Once again, welcome, and I wish this forum a great success. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie, for that really riveting speech. Now, as we navigate the AI era that's reshaping enterprise businesses, one question emerges. How can we harness AI to deliver sustainable enterprise value? Well, it's time now to delve into the wider context of agentic AI. To explore the actionable strategies, core differentiators, data imperatives, and IDC's forward-looking insights, please welcome to the stage Senior Research Director at IDC, Mr. Andy Buss.
Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here in Paris with you all today in the middle of a huge shift in IT, the likes of which we've never seen before. So I'm here today to really cover the bigger context of agentic AI and how to really think about succeeding as we move to the newest generation and transformation of IT. Just to set the scene, we are seeing really the fourth era of modern technology. We've moved from the mainframe and mini-computer era into the second generation of client-server in the early 2000s, into the era of public cloud in the 2010s. Now in the 2020s, we are in the Gen AI and agentic era, and it's driving what we call an AI supercycle. Huge amounts of investment going into new types of infrastructure to deliver brand new types of IT services that are based not on our traditional, very precise algorithmic computing, but more naturalistic, language-based, interpretive, generative AI-type computing, focused very much on driving business value and outcomes in the future. And what we're seeing is that this is driving huge engagement across businesses of all types, starting in service providers and hyperscalers, but moving down into many types of enterprises as they see the value that AI can bring across employee productivity, across the business model and processes itself, and across ecosystems of companies that together form a supply chain, a goods and services base, and a go-to-market. And IT is really moving out of the back office. It's moving from being an efficiency driver of companies to actually being the digital experience provider for employees, for customers, for partners, but also the business model itself. And to compete and be competitive, companies are having to adopt these new technologies. So we are seeing a 5 times growth in enterprise AI investment between 2023, when Gen AI first burst onto the scene, and 2029, going up to almost $100 billion in value, and that's just for the enterprise side. And we're seeing this as AI moves from the training era into the inferencing era, where companies can derive value from the models that are being developed and drive it from edge into the core and into the cloud as well. We're seeing enterprises move from initial exploration, proof of concept, into full-scale production. But we're also finding companies struggling to integrate and make it work at scale, and we'll look at some of these reasons as we talk this morning. But we're also seeing some challenges as well, things like geopolitics and supply chain disruption, making it hard to predict when and how to buy and what type of equipment to invest in. So challenges all around, and those that best get on top of the challenges will be placed to succeed and drive the markets forward. In EMEA specifically, a lot of the research that I do looks at different types of maturity of companies and how they approach the market. And if we look at digital leaders, these are the top quarter of companies that are very heavily digitally transformed, often with a digital business model and extreme automation, AI ops, cloud-native development, multi-cloud services, etc. These are the companies that are growing strongly, often above 10%. They're also the companies that invest very heavily in their IT infrastructure. And we can see that over the past year, Gen AI has become critically or extremely important to their business strategy and performance. And they're seeing this far more than companies that are not at the cutting edge of digital. So this is going to impact every industry, every company going forwards. We all need to be ready, and we all need to make sure that we can drive this forward. But we do need help, because this is a very fast-moving, challenging environment, and we lack skills in the market to really allow every company to do this themselves. So leaning on expert partners is going to be absolutely key to success. Companies are starting to move from what we would call the traditional AI, sort of prompt-based, where you get a response, you can decide how to act on it yourself. It helps in productivity, but on its own, it actually does nothing. So that's almost the first generation of Gen AI. But lately, we've started to see what we'd call the React version of AI, which moves into agents, which is essentially the reasoning and action model of AI. And this is the bedrock of an agentic system. And this allows us to develop AI systems that can act autonomously. They can take inputs, make decisions. They can also take actions based on their models and reasoning. The key here, again, is making sure that this happens in a reasonable context, and we'll cover that as well shortly. But the benefits that companies are seeing are profound. We're seeing automation just beyond the basic tasks, so we can see companies being able to scale their digital business models. We can see competitive advantage and innovation, companies that invest early, that get their data together, that can bring agentic systems into play before others can move faster or move into new markets. And that's why we see revenue growth so healthy in this digital leader part of the market. So we see a huge demand for agents. Starting today, we're starting to see billions of agents deployed worldwide, and this is going to grow exponentially over time, driving the need for a lot more AI compute, storage, and memory going forwards, because agentic systems really bring new capabilities to the market. Agentic is really being driven by a lot of technology-driven industries, but I would say right now, if you think it's not happening in your industry, you'd have to look again. We do see, for example, the high-tech, so everything from semiconductor manufacturing to software development, etc., really driving forward with the agentic approach. We also see telco, network-centric, technology-centric companies, banking as well. But behind this, we also see retail, for example, manufacturing, healthcare, other industries really getting onto the agentic train to help. And as an example I can give is a healthcare provider making medical imaging scanners has recently developed technologies that allow them to put a LLM detection capability onto one of their scanners. And that means when a scan is taken, rather than having to wait a week for an expert technician to review the scan, bring a patient back maybe 6 weeks later, which is a long time scale and very expensive, they can do a preliminary scan immediately. If there's a need for a follow-up, they can do it on-site, on the day. And this has the potential to cut many millions and accelerate and improve healthcare outcomes and transform how a lot of healthcare is delivered at the point of delivery. So huge potential to transform how businesses and processes are done, cut costs, make them more efficient, and improve outcomes. Overall, we're seeing a lot of benefit in the IT departments. Of course, technology is front and center, things like AI ops and observability-driven decision-making in IT, but we're also seeing huge demand for customer service to be able to scale frontline and first-line support operations. We're seeing HR integrating across multiple different systems to help deliver outcomes for employees. And also in finance, things like processing invoices, etc., really being able to move at speed without requiring people to just do standard interventions, inputting forms, etc. It can all be done automatically. But what makes agentic AI different? Really, it's the ability over time to have memory, to have context retention. And to be able to act on a long series of events and reasoning chains to deliver outcomes that actually matter. So we have to think differently about an agentic AI solution, because it's no longer just about training a single model or retaining context against 3 or 4 independent prompts. These are live systems that are interacting across many different companies, different partners, internal agents, etc. We also have multitask execution for complex operations, and these agents have to be able to think back along a series, reason, and then execute at the end of this multi-step task execution. As a result of this, things are not perfect, and it won't be for some time. People are not perfect either. Companies have mistakes. We've got to prepare for it. So exception management to handle real-world unpredictability is key. This means having good observability, making sure that decisions that could impact things like a financial transaction or a medical healthcare decision are maybe bounded and put in for human review before they go ahead. And then over time, we can build more trust as we have a base of information to work from. And then, of course, vitally important for today's digital age, security and compliance for enterprise environments. Because without trust and integrity in our data and our systems, we cannot have digital business models and digital services. So it's absolutely critical to make sure that any AI investment we make is fully secure, fully private, and particularly in the EU and EMEA in particular, we see a great desire for private AI infrastructure to keep IP, to keep employee information and sensitive customer information within the bounds of a controlled environment. So a good desire to do hybrid AI with a lot of desire for private AI infrastructure for that differentiating AI workloads. So agentic AI really marks a shift, fundamental shift from isolated functions, and particularly AI functions, to an end-to-end approach to automation, being able to get all elements of a business together and automate them long-term. And this turns Gen AI from a productivity engine with limited one-time impact to a strategic business engine which can deliver value increasingly over time as it becomes the business model and the way we actually build business processes or do manufacturing or organize logistics or deliver healthcare, for example. So the value of AI is multiplied by the preparation that is put into it and how well it is integrated across the business. But one of the biggest challenges that we see is most organizations are not strategic in their purchasing of IT infrastructure. So pockets of infrastructure and pockets of AI get deployed, and we're seeing this with agentic AI as well. Individual business units put in place systems that work for their own business unit, but there's little central coordination and strategy, and when it all tries to come together, we have tools that do not integrate. And we've got data that is not the same format or doesn't have the same quality or capability. We have agents that operate without shared governance and policy, and this means that workflows cannot scale across the organization. So we get some benefits. We get the 1 + 1 = 2, perhaps, but really what we want is the 1 + 1 = 3, 4, or 5, or even more going forwards. So one of the key things that CIOs of today and digital leaders and boards need to take into account is that agentic investments should be looking across the entire business. How do we integrate all functions to be able to integrate with all other functions as necessary, as we would do in today's human-centered environment? Critical here as well is we'll need to access customers, partners, ecosystem, etc. as well. So it's not just internally within an organization. This will also have to extend to the outside as well. So the more that companies can think strategically about agentic systems and investment going forwards, the more value you'll be able to deliver to the business itself, but also to customers and partners over time. But data readiness itself is absolutely essential. Without good data, AI cannot deliver good results. And as part of our FutureScape predictions for 2026, we have basically identified this as a key issue, that not having high-quality AI-ready data will result in a 15% productivity loss for companies. And this is huge when your competitors are on top of their data. Having a good set of data platforms, big data, data lakes, is going to be absolutely critical to being able to feed these agentic AI systems and deliver value to the business. So if you're not doing it already, now is the time to really start thinking about how many sets of data have we got in the company? How secure is it? What is their quality? Are they consistent with each other? Where do they live? How do we bring them all together? Time is of the essence because data is the lifeblood of agentic systems. And if we look at where companies are really focusing their investment, they're focusing on the AI model training and deployments, and particularly for agentic systems. This means a lot more storage and memory as we move out of the training era into the inferencing, reasoning, and agentic era. We're looking also particularly at data quality and governance, as well as data integration, being able to bring those all together to deliver successful systems. But we've also got to bear in mind that security and compliance has to be also towards the top of that list as well. And I've mentioned earlier skills and training. Companies are finding it particularly difficult to find the skills in the market, and therefore need to work with vendor suppliers, as well as resellers and integrators, to really understand the complexities of solutions and make sure we can implement them with minimal downsides. And one of the ways that we find that is enabling companies to scale the complexities of agentic AI and simplify the deployments and cut the risk is really to work with vendors that have a full stack solution. From the underlying silicon into the servers and compute and storage and networking, through the AI platform software, into the model development and model stores, and into the actual AI applications themselves, coupled with a set of services. It's really an AI factory approach, which allows you to deploy AI from the very smallest to the very largest systems with confidence and at scale, and knowing that it will deliver when it is stood up. So just to wrap up and give some advice for the digital leaders of today, if you're a CEO or in charge of the business strategy, really make agentic AI a source of competitive differentiation in the business. Choose those use cases that make a difference, that can really drive forward your IP advantage and make sure that you get the low-hanging fruit, the good returns early. We can't really boil the ocean with AI. We've got to start with the most targeted use cases that give the best value returns. But appropriately, for agentic systems, is set boundaries. Decide where and when an AI agent can work independently or where it needs human review. We currently have human in the loop for most things. We want to move to human on the loop, and eventually for some systems to human out of the loop. And for CIOs particularly, success in AI requires broad and deep IT transformation. So make sure that you're focusing across automation, across cloud-native development, across security, trust, and data management, as well as hybrid and multi-cloud capabilities. Make sure that your data is quality, because when it comes to AI, if you have bad data going in, you'll have bad results coming out the other side. And in particular, focus on resilience and recovery, because incidents will happen, and there will be times you'll have to recover many systems, perhaps from a new state. So make sure that your backup and resilience can work very effectively. And just looking at the future outlook, we see that digital leaders will increasingly use agentic systems to help them make business decisions very quickly going forwards, and will rely on this more and more. AI agents themselves will rapidly replace manual repetitive tasks with digital labor, and helping companies really scale to new business models and job roles. But critically for the CIOs here as well is that any type of system breach or system failure due to agentic systems will be pretty serious. We need to have plans for security and recovery, because if not, there will be job losses. And we used to joke in the GDPR era that the ROI of GDPR was reduced opportunity for incarceration. For the agentic era, really, it's about making sure that you can keep your job despite any potential failures that might happen. So I'd like to thank you very much and enjoy the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy, for that really eye-opening presentation. Now, as Andy just mentioned, we have entered the AI supercycle. Now, AI is no longer an optional innovation, but a core driver that's reshaping business strategy and also operational performance. Now, this also raises an important question. What solutions and products can help enterprises build strong AI data infrastructure? Well, please welcome Mr. Yuan Yuan, President of Huawei Data Storage Product Line, to deliver the keynote, Data Awakening, Infra Evolving.
Good morning, everybody. So I feel so excited and happy to have you here to join our IDI in Paris. And so today's topic is data awakening, infra evolving. I would like to share our thoughts and practice about how to build an AI-ready data infrastructure. Okay? First, I would like to share two numbers. One is agentic became the digital employees. According to the IDC report, there were more than 30 million active agents work for human beings in these years. And this number will increase to 2.2 billion in 5 years. That means in 5 years, in 4 to 5 years, the organization of the company will be fundamentally changed. Maybe in the near futures, one humans with several agents can be the company. Okay. And this new paradigm will be built. Okay. Second is about the tokens. Okay, tokens will become the new game creators, new kind of creators. According to the OpenAI, their report in last year, they will handle roughly the 6 billion the tokens per minute. By this year, this number will increasing to the 15 billions. The tokens will become kind of the air and the water to us, indispensable to our life. So that means the AI fundamentally changed our daily life. And also changed our business model, our daily operations. No matter you like it or not, it's gonna happen, no doubt. I will share one cases to describe how it happens in hospitals. One of the biggest hospitals in China, it's not necessary to disclose the names, but they have the millions of treatments per year, thousands of patients' beds. It's very big. Okay. They have some issues. They suffer from some efficiency issues. They have built kind of the digital pathology system. You know digital pathologists? With the scanning tissues, organic things, and observe what happens in your bodies. Okay. But the efficiency is not so enough. Usually, the doctor will take more than 40 minutes to check one tissue pathology slice. 40 minutes to check one tissue pathology slice. It's not so quick. Okay. So finally, they decided to introduce AI. And what they're going to do, they build 7 agents to replace some work of human beings, doctors, and the machines. And then they build 3 models. One is to identify some cancer, the particles, the cancer, the abnormal things. The second is to mimicry, emulate the microscope. The third is some kind of large models to talk with the patient. The 3 models to achieve this target. And they are using 16 cards, not so big, 16 cards, okay, GPU card. And 300 medical book has been learned by the models as a knowledge base. Huge knowledge base, and that means the model has enough knowledge to handle the pathology slice. Most important things, they train the models with 1 million patients the digital pathology slice with this huge amount of the data to make the models more accuracies. What about the results? The time to generate the pathology report has been reduced to 15 seconds. Okay, 40 minutes to 15 seconds. The second, over 19 the very normal, the cancer can be accurately to identified. Is a revolution solutions. The most important thing is search. Along with the model spreading to different hospitals, that means the global, the national level, the healthcare ability has been input. All the doctors can benefit from these models. This is very good to the people. That's the power of AI. What we can learn from this case, if you are really serious to bring AI to your enterprise, I strongly recommend to think about to build the AI stack on premise. To keep your privacies, comply with your regulations, and create the unique value by yourself. You don't have to just use the public AI services from Gemini or from OpenAI. It's not enough. You need a private stack. What will construct this stack? We summarized from the 5 layers. On the top of the stack is about the agent framework, You need to have some mechanism to developing agents, provide the evolving the architectures to involve your agents, and provide the security environment to run your agent. Okay, that's the first layer requirements. Second, models. Okay, you need to implement models, maybe change your models, refine your models, evaluate models, and sometimes you need to align your models with your local regulations, with your cultures, with your some rules, internal rules. Okay, so you need a series of model tools. Computing, of course, you need GPU cards, neural processors to handle the AI's models. Okay, to do the inference. AI data platform is a very key component. It's a key component to help you to bring AI to mission-critical procedures, the running environment. You know, for the enterprise level requirements, always we talk about performance, reliability, predictables, those kind of the characteristics. You need to have robust AI data platform, okay, to provide kind of the high process knowledge, the KV cache, and also the memory systems. And at the pedestal, you need to build a data lake, which can help you to consolidate all the data across your organizations and help you to generate the corpus to serve the training procedures and all the knowledge graphic to serve your agent and the inference procedures. So the consolidate data into the data lake is necessary, okay? But it is very hard. You know, we have to change our mindsets. I will say, oh, you have the power to consolidate different resources in your company. Okay, that's not our suggestion. I would like to describe the function of each layers with the cases. Okay, first case is select the company. They are very aggressive. They announced their car will have no steering wheels in 2030. That means in 6 years, their car has no steering wheels. No. Is it safe? I don't think it. But that's their purpose. Okay. To achieve it, so they need the level 5 autonomous the training procedure, those kind of the systems to reach level 5 security standard. And at the infra levels, how they can do it, we decouple the requirements for the data. First, they need to hold huge amount of data. They need to manage over 100 petabyte of data. From radars, from sensors, from the environment, from the weathers. They need to manage those huge amount of data with affordable TCOs. You know, it's not small money. Okay. Second, because the training is across different data centers, they need to manage the data across data centers and with global visibilities. Okay, that means all the data you cannot consolidate into one data center. It's dispersed into different sites, but you need to provide the global visibilities to the application levels. It's also very important. Third thing is, I think is critical, is ultra-fast semantic search. You know, the data will decide the model qualities. Most of the times, they need to find out the right data, especially in the extremely situation. For example, the red light, the running dog, in the raining days, it happens, how many pictures will be presented, those kind of scenarios, they will find out to serve their training platforms. That means hundreds of billions of files, they need to locate it in seconds. Okay, that's the function of the data lake, the massive data capacities, and the global visibilities, and fast semantic retrieval data. The third requirements for the AI data platform, I chose another case, is the financial institutions. Their ambitions is to replace their programmers. Okay, they want to bring the coding systems, Cloudy or the GLM. Many AI models can do those kind of coding engineering. So, 3 stage. First, they need to do some planning, give some dependencies, and some domain knowledge, and coding standard, and some coding engineering. Those kind of things will compose of the knowledge base. It's a preliminary to the coding procedures. Okay, it's a preliminary knowledge base. Second requirements for the coding procedures, usually it take maybe 50 rounds. You cannot generate the code for 1 round inference, maybe 50 round or 20 round, or 200 rounds. It's not necessary to put all the key value and the context to every round to the GPU card again and again. It's not cost effective, and it's not time saving. So The regular way is to build a KV cache. We get rid of the redundancy KV with the storage to provide the KV accessibility to the inference procedures, to save you money and save your time. The third is memory. Okay, debug. You know, all the softwares, we need to upgrade the softwares with different versions. Version 1, maybe they provide the basic functions. The version 2 is a bit better. Version 3 is perfect. Okay, for the AI coding, it's the same. We need to, round by round, to improve the ability and the code engineering. So we need to summarize the debugging sewings, the engineering, the experiences into the memory systems to help the code structures get better and better. Okay, so the memory system is also necessary to the AI data platform. So we summarize the AI data platform requirements. First, you need the high process knowledge base. Okay. Second, you need the KV cache to help you to serve the inference and the agentic requirements to give you predictable performance. Okay. And third is you need some embedded memory systems to help your agent to get smarter and smarter. You know, human beings is smarter because we have memory. Once I lay down on the stage, next time I'll be cautious about my step. Less memory. Okay. So you need the memory system in your data platform. The third level about the models. Okay. I'll choose another cases. It's on the hospitals. They want to implement the general purpose platform to handle all the medical tasks in the hospitals. They call it general purpose AM platforms. That means you need to implement more than 30 models to cover the testing systems, diagnosis, and scientific research. Okay, those kind of models need to have the out-of-box usabilities. You know, the hospital, the doctors, they are not professional AI guys, but how they can quickly to deploy the models and use the models is a question. How to provide out-of-box usabilities to deploy models is the one issue. Second is, in the daytime, they need their GPU card to run the models to face the patient. And in the nighttime, maybe they need to launch some scientific research tasks. You need to efficiently to switch in and switch off your models, orchestrator models to your resources. It's another requirement. The third thing is, the GPU cards is very expensive. The 1B200 maybe it'll cost you the hundreds of thousands of euros. Some models, they need to deploy across different cards. Some models, they only cost a piece of your GPU resources. So how to make it gradually to allocation your resources to the models to save you money, like the virtualization in the CPU systems. Okay, the GPU card, the virtualization is also very important. It can improve your efficiency and save you money. Okay, that is the requirements for the model engineering. The last one is agent adoptions. Okay, you need to do the agent. What's the difference between agent and softwares? Maybe in the near future, you don't have to develop any softwares. Every time you instantly to develop your softwares for one task. For one task, you develop one software with coding. Next time, developing another. Okay, you don't have to keep your traditional software systems. That's the function of the agents. The top bank in China, they're also very aggressive. China's people are aggressive. They want to build their mobile banking system and remove all the people operators with agent to handle your money. It's very risky, but that's their purpose. Okay, as customer side, they implement the agent systems. First, they want to run out 120 agents. Okay, in 1 month. Fast developing the agents. Second, this platform will need to provide the financial level of resilience. Financial level resilience, you don't expect the operators transfer money wrongly, transfer money to another account. Okay, you don't expect this happen. So that needs the financial level resilience. The third is continuous evolution about the agent. Get smarter and smarter, better understand the customer requirements, and give the right actions. Okay, that's the top requirements for the agent platforms. Okay, simplified agent developings, continuous agent evolutions, and prevent from the various attack. Okay. Yeah, security. Okay, we add on the different elements, different features. Along with these procedures, of course, the more risk will be brought to your systems. For example, agents, if you don't control the agents can do many risky things. Delete your files, change your routes, and maybe do something you don't expect it. So we need to identify the risky operations and do the interceptions, and those kind of things. Okay, prevent from the wrong action from the agents. In the model levels, poison. Many bad people, they would like to influence the models, the poison models, ingest the malicious code to leading to different the wrong results. Okay, anti-poisons. And the platform demos, tampering data. Somebody hack will want to change your data and change your results of your mission critical result, mission critical task. So anti-tampering. For the lake levels, okay, ransomware. It happens. It's occurred frequently. Okay, many customers suffered from those kind of the encryption, malicious encryptions. How to identify the malicious attack, the ransomware attack, and guarantee your data is clean. It's also challenging for the AI data center constructions. At least 4 layers, we have identified one key task to keep your system security. According to all those requirements, I already summarized the Huawei solutions. We provide the full stack solutions. At the first level, agent levels, we provide the model engine nexus. We provide you easily to developing the platform, easily developing your agents, the security self-involving the running environment, and the isolated area to security to run your agent systems. Model engines, we provide the one-stop tools to help you to implement the models, align your models, refine your models, and change the ways, the one-stop to help you to implement the models, and provide the model gateways to connect the right resources to your models, to allocate the right resources to your models. Computer parts, Huawei provides the alternative solutions. It's kind of neural processors, just like the kind of the similar solution from NVIDIA and AMD's. Okay. For the knowledge and the memory platforms, we have 2 solutions. One is CMS systems for the hyperscalers and the supercomputer constructions. Those kind of customers, they need the thousands of cards, so they need the independent contents memory storage, okay, to improve the key value, the access efficiency. For the traditionally enterprise customers, we provide the 3+1. It's a combination of the features, plus the knowledge base, memory systems, and the KV cache together. One-stop solution to serve your inference and agentic architectures. And for our data lake, ARM Dataverse provides the ability to scale from the small to the non-thousand petabytes and give you the global visibilities and the fast retrieving of data. Okay, help you to build the readiness infrastructures. And of course, our stack is fully open to your current ecosystem and your current softwares. Second is security enough to bear mission critical applications. And also, so is the end-to-end solutions, which can help you the one-stop solution to help you quickly to launch your AI abilities to your environment. I would like to explain a little bit about each layers very quick. Data lake, we're providing 2 layers. The first is about the data lake storage. Our product name is Ocean Store Pacific. They can scale from the several terabytes to 900 to 9,000 petabytes. And the 100 petabytes only in one rack. We provide the highest density and the lowest power consumption per unit, 0.25 watts per terabyte. And the ARM Dataverse provides the management tools to help you to handle the huge amount of data across in the data centers, different data centers. Millions of files you can present in the second levels. And ultra-fast data retrievals, hundreds of billions of the files we can files and vectors we can locate it in the second levels. This kind of the retrieval is not only in the data or text, it's kind of the vector high dimension data researching. That means you can match from image to image, video to image, image to text, those kind of search. Okay. And for the CMS, I will mention, so let's dedicate for the hyperscalers and the supercomputer constructions, and also some AI for science, the workloads. If you need to build the AI system with thousands of cards, so that's the independent or isolated storage pool for the contents memories is necessary. Okay, it's all-in. We provide all-in architectures which can connect the heterogeneous computing systems to NVIDIA cards, to Huawei cards, AMD cards, heterogeneous adoptions of the different computing environments. And our performance, we can reach the 50 gigabytes per second per card, is the highest in the world. And aggregate performance, we can reach to 10 terabytes per second. And the time to first token, we can save your time by 80%. And the cost of a token, we can save by 30%. Okay. And for the other industry customers, they don't have the enough or very huge to reach the know-how about AIs. We provide a combination of solutions. OceanStorm A800. That provides a high process, the knowledge base, which can provide the over 95 with the retrieval accuracy. It's not for knowledge base. Second is the PB level, petabyte levels, KV cache. Which can save your time to the first token by 90%. And also the self-evolving memory systems. And the UCM can help you to orchestrate your storage medias, the memory, HBM, and your SSDs, to balance your cost and your requirements. So this 3+1 solution is a one-stop solution to provide AI-ready data platform to help you to bring AI to a mission-critical runtime environment. Model engines, okay. We provide the one-stop, the model tours, model refine, alignment. You have some local rules, local culture preference we can align. Okay, change the weights, quantizations, evaluation of the models. So those kind of features we provide for the model engines. And that's over 30 the popular models has been we have provided out-of-box usabilities. And also the model gateways connected the model to ready resources. The virtualizations we can provide gradually to allocate the GPU resources to help you to save your money, make better use of the utilizations, and also the intellectual schedulings to according to your requirements to switch in and switch all the different models. Okay, this is the one-stop the model tours to help you to easily to implement the model to your platform. Next is agent platform. Okay, we provide the natural language to agent, natural language to the skill to help you to easily to developing your agents. You don't have to know Pythons. Okay, if you are doctors, your financial guys, your teachers with this graphic-based tool chains, you can easily developing your agent. Second, we provide the self-evolving framework on the skills and the prompt will be continuously optimized. Okay. Third, we provide a very, very strongly the isolated area to isolate the running environment from other resources to guarantee the security about the agent framework. Security, I mentioned. We implement our abilities from layer to layer. Anti-misuse, anti-positions, anti-tampering, and anti-ransomware. Different kind of technologies will be implemented to different layers. Okay, let me summarize my presentation in one small videos. Okay, last page. I have the decision. The next chapter of AI is data. Summarized from my thoughts. The first chapter of AI is the computing powers. Along with the popularity of the GPT, so the NVIDIA implements many cars globally. Second, I think the chapter is about the modeling. Okay, the Geminis, the DeepSeek, and those kind of Llama, those kind of computation between different models. The third is agentic, Anthropic. Okay, it's so popular. They do the agentic codings. The third chapter, I think, is data. Finally, data will decide your ability and the security about your AI, about your AIs. So, also, no matter you like it or dislike it, we cannot work around AI. Let's move together, forwarding, and embrace AI years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yuan, for introducing how Huawei is shaping the future of AI with data storage. So now let's turn to an innovative industry AI use case. Now it's our great pleasure to welcome the National Library of Norway to share their valuable experience of building Norwegian language models. So let's give a very warm welcome to Mr. Marius Husnes, Head of IT Platform at the National Library of Norway.
So, hi everyone. My name is Marius, and I work at a library. I know, it's probably not what you expected to hear when you're at a data infrastructure forum in Paris, but try to stay with me. So, I'm a tech guy. I've been working in tech all my career as a platform engineer and transitioned into infrastructure and platform architect. I am now the head of IT platform at the National Library of Norway, and responsible for our on-premise infrastructure and platforms. The National Library of Norway has a legal mandate to collect and preserve every single thing ever published in Norway. That means the books, newspapers, radio broadcast, television, and all the websites as well. We've been digitizing that huge collection for over 20 years, and somewhere along the way, without really planning for it, we built something unexpected. We now have the largest Norwegian language dataset in existence. It's bigger than anything Google has. It's bigger than anything OpenAI has ever traded on in Norwegian, because they never had access to it. So last year, the Norwegian government came to us and said, you have the data, now build us the models. And this is that story. So, not every country has a national library, but Norway does. And it's not just like a big fancy library with a golden name or anything. It's a legal institution. So by law, every publisher and broadcaster in Norway have to deposit a copy, a physical copy, of everything they produce. That means every book, every newspaper, every radio broadcast, TV, and also the Norwegian websites. So we are the custodians of the nation's entire published memory. To put that in somewhat of a perspective, Norway has been publishing books since the 1500s. We have newspapers going back to the 1700s, radio broadcasts from the 1930s, televisions from 1960s as well. And from around the year 2000, we've been harvesting the entire Norwegian internet, every .no domain, multiple times a year, and all of that is stored in our archive. So our mandate is to collect and preserve all of Norwegian cultural heritage and preserve the past for the future. And we've been running a mass digitization program for over 20 years, one of the longest running digitization efforts in Europe. And the result of that program is around 20 petabytes of unique digital objects. And because we take preservation seriously, that 20 petabytes is actually stored at 60 petabytes. We have it in 3 copies across 2 different storage technologies, and one of the copies is held off-site. We simply don't want to lose anything. So when people hear digitization, they picture someone scanning a book, or looking at some objects or scanning a tape. And that is a part of it, but it's just a tiny part. At a national scale, and the way we're working at the National Library, digitization is an industrial data pipeline. So you start off with a physical capture. You're scanning the pages, you're photographing objects, recording audio and video. Then you go to the processing stage. We do image correction, format normalization, quality control. Then we do the text extraction. We have been running OCR across millions of pages, including historical typefaces, Old Norwegian dialects, and handwriting from the 19th century. When we're done with all the processing, we start the enrichment phase with metadata, tagging, language detection, structural analysis, and all of this creates something about something. The volume is deceptive. A single 25-page newspaper issue might consist of around 150 to 200 individual files. We have the master scans, the derivatives, OCR outputs, the metadata. All this gets packaged together as one archival object. If you multiply that across millions of objects, and over 20 years, you start to understand the scale of the operation we've been running. All of this flows through both compute and storage. We have specialized format scanners, workstation, NVMe-backed processing, and the output goes in two directions. So one special thing about us is we publish everything to the Norwegian people as well. We have our online library at nb.no, where people can search and look at all newspapers, books, pictures, radio, and whatever. The other part is we're preserving it permanently in our self-developed digital preservation system. That system follows a strict 3+2+1 policy. We have one copy on disk, we have 2 copies on tape, and one of them is held offsite. And here's the thing that nobody planned for doing this. Each of these steps generates data about data. We have the OCR output, we have the metadata, we have the structural annotations, and across 20 years and millions of objects, that adds up to something we never set out to build. The largest Norwegian language corpus in existence. It's both richer, older, and more complete than anything a private company has access to. But we never went away and said, we're going to build models. But Norway did. We started out as a small AI lab with 4 people, working in the National Library, trying to see what we could do with language models. That AI lab has now grown to its own section with around 20 specialists in the field. So about 2 years ago, the Norwegian government made a decision. They started looking at what was happening in the large language models globally. They looked at what we had, and they drew an obvious conclusion. Norwegian is a small language. There's only about 5 million people who actually speak it. It has 2 written forms with bokmål and nynorsk. There are dozens of dialects, and it's deeply underserved by the big global models that are trained overwhelmingly on English. So if you ask GPT-5 or Claude something in Norwegian, you'll get an answer, but you get an even better answer if you ask them in English instead of Norwegian. The models simply have less Norwegian training data. So if Norway doesn't build its own language models, no one will. And that's not just a technical problem, it's a cultural and democratic one. A country that can't interact with AI in its own language on equal terms is at a disadvantage. So the Ministry of Culture formally tasked us with doing exactly that. And they are allocating 70 million Norwegian kroner each year to make it happen. And we also have something that's a world first. We have a legal agreement with all the Norwegian newspapers and publishers, which means we are allowed to train on copyrighted content. And that's not a technical advantage at all. It's a legal, institutional one. And it took decades to get there. So what does the infrastructure actually look like in-house? And I'll be honest with you, it's not what you might imagine for a project of this ambition. In-house, we only have one DGX system with 8 H200 GPUs and a 384-core CPU cluster that handles the heavy data crunching, the cleaning, deduplication, formatting, pipeline processing, And for storage in the AI environment, we are using Huawei Dorado All-Flash. Because when you're running data pipelines at this scale, latency matters. And you can't have your pre-processing jobs waiting on slow storage. And that's also why we've used the Dorados in our digitization pipelines for multiple years. Throughput has always been key for us. So we only do the small-scale training in-house, based on the limited amount of AI resources we have. The serious training workloads goes to Sigma 2, and that's Norway's high-performance computing infrastructure. So we're currently focusing on automatic speech recognition, GPT, text-to-speech, and embedding models, with the goal of combining them all over time. Our previous published models are already in use by multiple consumers in Norway, especially our whisper-based model for speech-to-text transcription, and also our Borealis preview GPT model based on Gemma 3. So we already have the richest Norwegian data set in our digital preservation system. Millions of objects with rich data about those objects, the corpus I already described. But here's what I want you to take away from this. The bottleneck, as we see it, in building large language models is not the GPUs. It's the data. It's the work with cleaning it, structuring it, validating it, and moving it. That's where the real work happens, and that's where infrastructure decisions really matter. So we have two very different storage problems under the same roof. They have almost the opposite requirements as well. Our preservation storage is about durability and cost. 60 petabytes across tape and spinning disk with strict redundancy. It's not fast, and it doesn't have to be either. It has to be there in 1,000 years. And it's not glamorous engineering either. There's no cutting-edge hardware. There's just massive discipline because we're working in a 1,000-year perspective. That means we're constantly migrating data from old disks and old tape systems to new ones, generation after generation. AI storage is the opposite. So we currently have around 2 petabytes of Huawei Dorado All-Flash dedicated to the AI environment, optimized for throughput and low latency. When a training pipeline needs the data, it needs it now and not in a couple of days. But historically, we always had fast storage at the National Library. We've been SAS consumers for many years before NVMe came and swept us away. We've always prioritized throughput and latency in our production pipelines, and we treat our AI pipelines in the same way. So without fast storage, our pipelines couldn't actually do this work. It would be almost impossible. Staging data from tape to disk, struggling with I/O load, low throughput due to conflicts, etc. It wouldn't work. But the challenge that nobody talks about is what happens in between. You can't train AI directly from preservation storage. I mean, technically you can, if you don't mind a pipeline running through the next ice age. But to be effective, you need to move the data from the archive into a dedicated AI environment. You need to curate it, you need to clean it, and you need to stage it. And we're talking about petabytes of data. And that data movement is an engineering problem on its own. If you don't solve that, the rest won't work. So I want to be honest with you about where we are. I'm not here to present a finished and polished case study of all the models that we have created. We're somewhere in the middle of something. Yes, we have released models, and we're planning on releasing a lot more models, but there are still some challenges that we're looking at. There are 3 things that we think are genuinely hard right now. The first thing is evaluating the Norwegian language against a model quality. There are no standard benchmarks that captures the language like Norwegian. It has 2 written forms, it has a lot of dialects, it's historical variation, so we're partly building the evaluation tools as we go. Secondly is governance. Who controls access to national language models? Who decides what it can be used for? These are not technical questions, and not for me to answer either. They're institutional and political ones. And the third and biggest one is orchestrating a hybrid infrastructure with a dedicated AI environment, national high-performance infrastructure, and a preservation archive that was never designed to feed an AI pipeline. Making those three things work together smoothly is an ongoing project. And on any given day, we might be pulling terabytes of 19th century newspaper OCR out of preservation archive, cleaning it on a CPU cluster, shipping it to Sigma 2 for training run, and each of those systems were built for completely different purposes. A digital preservation system is normally not optimized for massive reads. You're supposed to write it once and forget it. And I suspect some of you guys are hitting some versions of the same walls that we are, and that's part of why I wanted to show what we still think is hard about this. So I want to end on a broader point. There's a lot of conversation in this industry about AI infrastructure, about GPUs, model architectures, token maxing, vibe coding, and data centers. And all of that matters, don't get me wrong, but I think we're actually underweighing something. The most valuable AI infrastructure is not the compute. It's the data that someone, somewhere, had the foresight to collect before AI existed and before anyone knew it would actually matter. Public institutions like national libraries have data that private companies would never have access to. And it's not because of money. It's because of the built trust, the access rights, the mandates, and decades of quiet, unglamorous work. Norway is a small country solving a problem that every non-English speaking nation will face. How do you build an AI that actually reflects your language, your culture, your history? You start by having preserved it. So we started out digitizing to preserve Norway's past. And we ended up building the infrastructure for Norway's AI future. Thank you.
Thank you, Marius, for sharing such a fascinating and unique use case that I think a lot of countries can learn a lot from. Now, beyond AI applications, other enterprise applications also encounter constant uncertainties in the intelligent era. And while data infrastructure underpins every digital and AI transformation. Today, resilience has evolved from an option to the core driver of data infrastructure upgrades, shifting our focus from high availability to true high resilience. Next, let's welcome to the stage Mr. Benoit Fix, France Data Center Solutions CTO, to shed light on how to enhance the resilience of data infrastructure.
Hello, everyone. Oh, so much people. Really happy to see you all today. So, my name is Benoit Fix. Like a customer told me yesterday, if you have any issue, please call me. I will try to fix it. So, the joke is done. Now, I would like to discuss with you today how resilience is really shaping infrastructure and how it's becoming a major concern. I had some discussion with customers and partners that explaining me that Resilience is quite the same as high availability. So we've done it since a few years now. Not totally. In the last 2 years, we made some observation. The first, and we had some example earlier with the previous presentation, is that we are no more working with single data center, single site, just an application somewhere working with its own data. We are working with cooperation between more sites, more applications, spreading everywhere. Multiple city, multiple country, multiple region. So now we are not anymore working in really data center silo. It's really cross-region services deployment. I also can see that a lot of customers are using open source massively because of AI, but not only, maybe because of cost optimization. So you use an open software tool. This open software tool use another open software bricks that use another open software bricks that was developed earlier. But then this first bricks was maybe corrupt by an attack, a virus, something, and you will inherit it in your application, and you are not aware of that. That's what we are calling supply chain risk. That's something to be aware of. The second point is that more customers are moving from a full legacy IT to hybrid IT. What I'm calling hybrid IT is really legacy solution, VM, as we know it, and container. That not mean that everyone will fully move to container, and some customers will use only all containers for their application. But that brings a new risk. Containerization brings microservices. We had some example also in the last few months or few weeks with a major risk. If you have a single failure in one of the micro application of your service, it can lead to major failure. The latest example is with Cloudflare, for example. We had a lot of internet articles about that, and maybe you have even got failure in your own system because of that. So that means every application, every component are now more linked together with new risk to take care of. Last point, which is directly linked to what I just said, is that about your recoverability. How to be sure that your production will continue to run even if you have a major failure. Did you do any recovery test? Any disaster recovery test? Maybe yes, but maybe not, because it's quite difficult. Maybe you don't have the solution or the infrastructure to do it. But nowadays, it's really important. Why? Because the data is important. If you cannot recover your data, you will have a problem. So, considering those observations, we found out that CXO shifted the mind from legacy design with mostly performance, capacity, high availability concern, to something more data-centric, more on the data resilience. What you should be planning for is for the worst case. You need to be sure that you can guarantee 100% recoverability of your data and your system. We have different levels of application. First one, mission critical. We need stable performance. Whatever the case, whatever the issue, whatever, if it's a maintenance, if a failure, a site failure, a component failure, we don't care. You need to have the stable performance. We have the mass data. We have a previous example, a very good one previously. With that, you will host a massive petabyte of data. I hope so, for me. But to give you an example, 10 years ago, I discussed with a customer. I told him how much data he have. Maybe 100, 200, 300 petabytes, I asked him. He told me, no, you're joking. I only have maybe 50 terabytes. No, not so much. 3 months ago, he called me. He asked me for a solution to house 3 petabytes. 50 terabytes to 3 petabytes in 10 years. Whoa, that's huge. So we have some use case about that. Then the backup. Backup is really important. What we really want you to think about is the golden copy. We need to be sure that at least one data copy somewhere is safe. 100% guarantee it's safe. Virtualization layer, absolutely. You are running your workload on virtualization. So we need to guarantee that you can recover your data and have really stable and resilient solutions for that. And then at the end, much important also, it's not only the system, it's how you operate it and how you maintain it. So OEM solutions are really important. And we need to move from manual troubleshooting to something more proactive to really mitigate the risk. So, how can our solution help you in this new paradigm? The first case really important for us is to change the design rule on the performance level. Initially, we just take into account the average performance needed for your solution and then build something that will fulfill your needs. If everything is good and running good with no issue, no problem. That's not enough now. So we need to really design the solution with the peak performance requirements for your critical application. We need to be able to guarantee you the performances, whatever the situation. You have a controller failure, you have a disk failure, a shelf enclosure failure, whatever. We need to be sure that your performance will be stable, whatever the case. Before, for such solution, we use quality of services. But QoS do not help anymore. It cannot. Why? Because you have AI. And AI workloads are quite unpredictable. The unpredictability is the key for that. You will not know what AI workload will bring to your IT solution. Moving on mass data storage. First interesting thing, Mr. Yuan highlighted this earlier, that we can have our new Pacific solution and up to 11 petabytes on 2U. That's quite huge. Interesting. But more important, like I said earlier, we are moving from single site to multiple site. So we have to take that in account for the resiliency of your solution. That means we need to design active disaster recovery between a number of sites. For example, our solution can give you active for up to 3 sites and active-passive up to 12 sites. Second point is because we have much larger capacity to protect and to manage, we need to find your way to mitigate the risk in case you lost a disk or a shelf, for example. So, in our solution, we improve the fault detection mechanism and we optimize the amount of data to reconstruct. Because large volume, more time to reconstruct, so more risk. Backup. Backup is way more important now. It was always important, but it's really the last defense. For you, the goal of the backup solution is to increase the performance, backup fast, recover fast, way more important, and to have more retention, to be able to work on your data, to be able to retrieve a really old data if needed for any application, any AI workload, for whatever. To achieve this, so like I said, the recovery performance is the key. So we really want to push on full flash. We have TLC, QLC disk. Flash is really important because it will help you to recover your data, to rebuild your data center if needed. But it could have a cost to have a full flash solution for your backup. So we worked on new disk technology, mixing SLC and QLC to get the performance, but also to optimize the cost. On the data retention side, we worked new deduplication solution. Before, we had a most generic algorithm to optimize the data on the hardware. It's not enough now. So we developed a compression card, and then we developed new specific scenario algorithm to be more data type focused than generic. It helps to optimize the deduplication and the size of the data in the appliance, whatever the use case. AI era brings a lot of good things. We can develop applications from just our mobile phone. It's really interesting. But the good people can use it, but the bad people also can use it. So you had some insight on that also earlier. We can use AI to find vulnerabilities in your code, in your application, but the attacker can also do it. They can use AI to analyze what are the vulnerabilities of your solution, of your IT, of your infrastructure, and then develop new attack code more focused on your own vulnerabilities. We had some examples. For example, FunkSec is the most renowned in the world right now. They just use AI to develop code and they sell it to other people to attack you. So we need to build a real multi-layer collaborative ransomware protection. The first is, okay, quick backup. Nice. Second is to have analysis. So we have Ocean Cyber Appliance that help to analyze the data to know if it was attacked or not. Second level is replication with air gap to what we call a clean room, quarantine zone. We put the copy, we shut down the port, and then we analyze, is the copy safe or not? If the copy is safe, then we move it to another site. It's our golden copy. hypervisor. I know that in this room, no one has issue with his legacy hypervisor. Really? Not sure. Joking aside, we have more and more projects on this matter, and it's important for us to guarantee you that you will have the same level of resiliency as your historic virtualization partner, same ease of use, same features. Eventually, to have dual sourcing. Maybe you will have some application running on one hypervisor and other application running on another kind of hypervisor. So that's what we can offer you with this years. We also have huge platform running with it. In France, in Germany, in Europe, whatever the country. We have some customers that are able to testimony on that. OEM. Like I said, we are talking on resiliency. That means OEM need to be improved as well. So, traditional OEM is the experience of the troubleshooter, of the people managing your solution day to day. But we are moving from really experience-driven to data-driven. So more something passive to something more proactive. The people working on traditional OEM use tools. So we are ready to assist, but we are limited by the human factor. Humans are not working 24 hours per day. They need some rest. So with agentic execution, we can go on this kind of solution. We can go 20 hours per day, monitoring, supervision, problem detection. So we design something we call 0, 1, 3, 5. What that means? 0, it's proactive detection. 1 minute problem detection when it occurs. 3 minute problem cause issue. Is it the network? Is it the VM? Is it the storage? 5 minute root cause analysis. We can do this because of AI. So now, in our tool, you can see a small video on the border. We have developed Data Master. Data Master is a new agent working on our DMA solution that can really help you to check the status of and analyze the status of your IT. Did you have any risk, capacity planning, performance planning, whatever. So, what for what? First, our new Gen Dorado to help you to get stable, reliable, high performances. Ocean Store Pacific, high capacity density with low failure radius. Ocean Protect, fast backup, more important, instant recovery. Ransomware protection, multi-layer and collaborative. Virtualization, highly reliable solution. eMaster DMR for the agentic for proactive prevention. If we do a small summary, our 4 recommendations to move from what we call digital era to intelligent era. The first is to be resilient by reliability and performance guarantee. So now it's really important to design your needs for critical application for your peak requirement for performances. Second point, resilient by multi-everything. And most important, disaster recovery drills. Third one, golden copy. The golden copy will be your last things available to be sure 100% that you can recover your data. And last one, resiliency means to be proactive. Really important to use that. So, AI is a powerful tool. We have some examples. I use it every day, mostly. AI has a breed unpredictability and uncertainty to our infrastructure. It can even lead to data loss, to application failure, production outage. So we need to be careful on that. We really need to take that in account when we build our new solutions. So to protect our data and our business, we need to guarantee the global resiliency. It's quite different than just high availability. It's really the resiliency of your data. Resilience is really now the only thing we can predict. It's really, really more important than high availability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benoit, for introducing these exciting product and solution updates. Now, it's said that uncertainty is everywhere in the intelligent era, and resilience is actually the only certainty. Now that we've seen these cutting-edge technologies and complete solutions, let's turn to a real-world implementation. So next, we're honored to have some of the leading industry pioneers to share their practical experience and successful deployment journeys. So please give me a warm welcome to Mr. Pierre-François Roudin, CTO of Auchan, to give the speech, Resilient Integration Services Build Highly Reliable Data Centers.
Good to see you all. I'm Pierre-François, CTO for Auchan. Today, I'd like to talk about how to build highly reliable data center, and I will mainly showcase what Benoit just explained to you, what we did at Auchan those last 6 months, and how it is relevant in our business. Talking about Auchan, we are an historic distributor and next-generation retailer that was founded back in '61, that is running within 12 countries, running about nearly 3,000 shops, and generating 32 billion revenue per year with nearly 160,000 workers. Our aim at Auchan is to deliver local, good and healthy food to most of the French people and the people in the country we are serving, and we are very focused on our social responsibility. If we are now discussing how we want to support and to help business evolving with the IT part, our concern is to support a more innovative business model, and we will focus at Auchan from a business standpoint on the choice and the sales promotion to ensure that we are reactivating Auchan's strengths, an attractive price positioning and cooperating with more than 1,600 suppliers, enhancing our omnichannel capabilities to ensure for the customer to have an easier and personalized shopping experience. Very focused also is to modernize the stores and to provide an optimized allocation of investment to support this modernization. The challenge we are facing from a digital transformation standpoint was the following one. We are having a huge set of applications at Auchan with nearly 4 times the number of applications that our competitors are having. Speaking of those applications running on the IT infrastructure, we were having a very fragmented usage due to the historical way of deploying, with 2 times more cloud provider than every competitor, with a very huge usage of public cloud, leading at some point to the high TCO cost that is somehow 100% above what was expected. Plus, looking at the price rising and our software IT strategy, we were exactly not in the best position to support the business and to ensure the proper TCO. Therefore, the concern was about streamlining and pooling the infrastructure usage, ensuring a proper rationalization of supplier, having a proper and cost-effective solution replacement. Benoit just mentioned the potential issue with the hypervisor. We were concerned by that issue. And by looking at cost-effective solution replacement, we were also willing to ensure we are setting up a native implementation of all the best practices, discussing the resiliency, discussing the disaster recovery plan, ensuring the secure backup in case of crypto lock and so on. Therefore, we did transform that challenge into an opportunity, and we discussed with Huawei solution team to address that. So you see on the screen the very concern we were having, a very distributed way of doing IT with the cost of the complexity. What we did with Huawei team, with the solution team, is to explore how in 2025, 2026, we could address that the most efficiently. We were having some legacy data center in Lyon running with VMware. And what we decided to go to is a migration towards the DCS solution and moving the data center in Lyon towards the Lille data center that we were creating with Huawei. So the topic was there mainly focused on a virtualization platform upgrade and basically migrating VM from one system to another system while transitioning from one data center to the other data center. The second phase of our project was about ensuring data center resiliency. So how did we improve to do so? We did create 3 data centers, 2 that were nearby in the region of Lille. And actually, we did set up those 2 data centers in a kind of virtual data center, ensuring that we have high availability at a stage. And the 3rd data center would be used for disaster recovery purpose, but ensuring that the data and the system are already available and running in this 3rd data center. And the 3rd phase that we are currently engaging into is to create one cloud architecture relying on operation and maintenance efficiency delivered by Huawei service team to increase our capacity, to reduce our TCO, and also to cover all the best practices that are needed if you are running a retail business. We were very happy at Auchan to use Huawei professional product and services to engage on that project. Typically, when we started back in September last year, with the product team, the solution team, we did the design. Then we went through the service team to do the deployment. And with the service team, we did engage also on the O&M and the support because it was a fast transformation where Huawei was uniquely positioned to support us, but also to ensure that on the first day, we are getting the proper quality of service. So this reliability that we wanted to implement is basically based on a 3DC design, kind of copying the cloud-like 3 availability zone design. Through that, we were willing to maintain the habits of usage of the people using infrastructure. And from a reliability standpoint, we used a 6-layer protection, starting with the Hypermetro technology on Dorado, using the disaster recovery and backup solution, having a second copy for backup, as well as an air-gap copy, ensuring that in case of any big issue on the data, we are capable of recovering. From a cost-effectiveness standpoint, we were massively using cloud services, and that was rather straightforward business case that we did elaborate with Huawei, because the 5 years TCO that we were contemplating with the previous solution is at least reduced by 50%. We engage with Huawei to have a full stack system from Huawei to ensure consistency, to ease the integration, and to get the proper support end-to-end. This full stack management was also a challenge for Auchan. Being using cloud services for a while, we were not having in-house the proper level of expertise at home. Therefore, through this full stack at Huawei, we were facilitating the integration, but also ensuring a complete availability of the service day one. In fact, what was very important for us was this full stack approach, and also where we were very, very convinced, and we had demonstrated that with Huawei service team, is that the migration was really a worry-free migration, because while we were migrating the VM from one DC to the other, our shops were still operating with the application, and that was really, let's say, a seamless migration that we did experience thanks to the Huawei service team. So, if you are looking at it now, there are different dimensions on which Huawei did help us doing this job. The integration service, using the DCS virtualization stack, help us increasing the speed and the velocity of delivering. The second point was about the migration service, where Huawei helped us moving from one technology to another, from one data center to the other, with a very successful first-time rate that was somehow 99%. Only the very legacy operating system, we had to challenge that a bit further to ensure that those OS would migrate to the new setup. We are now having a capability of and a capacity of running more than 5,000 VM on this infrastructure, ready to consolidate further, looking at our cloud provider and looking at and we did engage and we are engaging on those migration. And from a data backup standpoint, we are looking now at a by design backup setup, allowing everything that is now started on this infrastructure to be natively backed up and ensuring that the resiliency that is expected from the business is available. What we were looking at, and in the long run, what will be our focus? Our focus will be from the stability that we are willing to create and we are creating towards efficiency and intelligence. Data center resiliency, it is a must if you're running a retail business, because while your shop are open, while the customer are running through your shop, you need your IT services available, performing and delivering the services that are expected in the shop. The AI, from an AI standpoint, we see at least two major dimensions. One being improving the customer experience, because what is the key success factor for a retailer is to ensure that the customer experience is increasing. That's one of the top focus. While the operational efficiency is also a very big challenge, because running a retail business is very staff intensive, and this is where we are looking at AI, helping us improving, optimizing our staff, increasing the value of the staff working in our shops. And we see, and what was the purpose also ultimately of this project? At Auchan, I mentioned it, we were massively using cloud services, we were massively using subcontractors to run that, and one of the ambitions of this project, besides setting this resilient infrastructure, is also to allow our internal people onboarding, jumping into the trend, so as to develop their skills, to help them having further skills that will be ultimately something very valuable both for the company and the people working with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pierre. So we have seen how resilient integration services build highly reliable data centers, driving business innovation and addressing digital transformation challenges. But moving beyond retail, telecom operators are the backbone of the digital infrastructure. Now it's our great honor to have the guests from Orange to share their data infrastructure implementation practices. Please Please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Eric Blazy, General Manager, Digital Services France at Orange Business. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Eric Blazy, in charge in Orange Business of Digital Services BU in France, so for French customers and their global and international project also. And I represent Orange Business globally for French, European, and worldwide customer, of course. So to begin, some words around our strategic plan, new strategic plan in Orange. And I will speak also about our partnership with Huawei. And my colleague, Christophe Herman, will speak about some use cases around the storage on our business with our customers. So we have a new strategic plan in Orange Group globally. And of course, some specific items for B2B and Orange Business especially, and Orange Cyber Defense also, with 3 pillars for B2B. First is customer intimacy with our channel, of course, but to maximize the value and the development of our core business, because we have a lot of transformation on our core business, and especially around secured connectivity. So some focus in this pillar, which are secured connectivity, of course, with SD-WAN, SASE, cyber, etc., and workspace, fixed or mobile, of course, with a lot of services around that. And also the huge development of our evolution platform strategy to put in the same platform connectivity, cybersecurity, and others, of course. The second pillar is growth by innovation. We call it like that. Here we make a focus around trusted AI, trusted cloud in the global strategic plan, Trust the Future, to make a specific focus on that. Around the AI, of course, data, and also globally digital services around this pillar. When I speak about cloud, of course, it's public cloud, private cloud, on-premise solution also. And 2 specific focus on 2 verticals in this pillar with new way of working and new organization on defense and security sector and healthcare. The third pillar, excellence at scale. Here we work on competencies, skills, on certification also for people to serve our customers, but also with a new IT in Orange Business to have more automation, more AI to bring the best customer journey, of course, and also efficiency for us and our customers. Also in this item, a development we want around indirect sales also, which will be important in the strategic plan around some partnership all over the world. Of course, all that with responsibility and social responsibility, of course, around all those items. Our vision, to resume, possibility. So possibility means innovation, means business for customers, transformation for customers. Start with tech you trust. The technology is key. Trust is key in the world we are today. All that is part of our vision and our strategic plan. Now, if we speak about our partnership with Huawei and Orange Business, a long and a very good partnership, since, if I well remember, 2014 or 13, so a long time ago. We work with Huawei today around storage, and we will speak of that with my colleague. Smart collaboration, LAN and Wi-Fi networks, and also fiber networks to interconnect data centers, for example. So we have the best level of certification, of course, with a lot of people, again, all over the world, which are certificate with Huawei. And globally, we have a global footprint. What we can do with Huawei is in France, in Europe, Asia, US, etc., with a local care, of course, because, like you know, Orange Business is everywhere in a lot of locations. A lot of co-innovation. Technology is key from Huawei, but services, work with our customer is key also. So co-innovation is always the way we work together with Huawei globally. A point very important also, I think, really with Huawei is the co-working every time from the pre-sales and qualification phase with our customer to the delivery between the Huawei teams and the Orange Business team. So I think it's key because a project is always worked between a customer, Orange Business, for example, and Huawei, our partner also. To finish on our partnership, because we are in a specific world today with some tension and situation all over the world, we work a lot around the supply chain, and we can say that we have a reliable partnership on that with Huawei to have the right supply chain everywhere for your projects. The security around pricing, we can see a big crisis around components. So here we work really on that with Huawei. And of course, agility in our process, in our way of working. Like I said, in every phase of a project, we work together with customers, Huawei and us, around our solutions we can bring on the market. So, thank you. I will let the floor to my colleague to make a specific focus on storage today with Huawei around use case and what we can do and our capabilities around that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. So now please welcome Mr. Christophe Herman, Head of Cloud Infrastructure, Global Delivery and Operations at Orange Business, to share more technical details from Orange.
So, hello everyone. My name is Christophe Herman. I'm head of the Cloud Infrastructure Delivery and Operation Department in Orange Business. And today, so now that you know the partnership between Orange Business and Huawei, I will explain through two different use cases how Orange and Huawei together can provide operational excellence and adaptability for cloud infrastructure. So, the first use case is a project that we have launched a few years back when we have noticed that we had many different VMware-based cloud platforms inside our data centers. So they were small, specialized per offer, per need, so dispersed in many data centers, and it was not cost-effective. And so we wanted to be more competitive on the market. So what we did is that we decided to launch a new multi-tenant cloud infrastructure, next generation, and to launch a new IaaS offer called Cloud Avenue Dynamic. This allowed us to consolidate all these platforms into a single one and to be more efficient on the market. So it means that we had to answer a wide diversity of needs. First, to focus on legacy IT applications hosting for both our internal needs and for our external customers, to provide also business-critical managed services, and also to host other Orange Business offers, such as unified communications and contact centers. This means providing very high resiliency and availability at the infrastructure level, and to provide also dual-site capability for business-critical applications. This means providing also a wide range of performance up to real-time communications. In terms of scalability, today we host more than 20,000 VMs on our platform and more than 10 petabytes of SAN and NAS storage. We wanted also to evolve, to be able to evolve and to provide cloud-native use case. So maybe one day we'll host a Huawei Cloud Foundation solution, and also to move to GenAI. Today we host our live intelligence solution for inference on Cloud Avenue. So how have we answered with Huawei to this use case? So we have run an RFP to choose our storage solution, and we have chosen Huawei Dorado 8000 to answer our needs for the SAN storage to host the VMs. So we have deployed a dual-room cluster, dual-site replication, SAN storage, A controllers, and hypermetro for high reliability. Why have we chosen this solution? So first, my experts have performed some extensive tests, and they have been really impressed by the level of resilience, robustness, and high availability of the solution. For example, if you remove one head, one disk, there is no impact on the performance. The storage is very stable. Then, so this is a full NVMe storage. It can provide high level of performance. It has a wide variety of disk size, and also very good level of deduplication and compression, which means small DC footprint and high storage density. And it can evolve over time, so by adding disk or adding storage performance through additional heads. So what does it mean now? I can see after a few years that the performance is there, the reliability is there, the deduplication compression could be a bit better, but it's there. And what's very important is that when we have faced very important issues last year, Huawei has been there to help us. So last year, during the peak of the consolidation that we had to perform, we have grown a bit too fast compared to our forecast, and we were not able to upgrade due to some other issues that we had at the same time. And so we have spent months on crisis management to try to limit the customer impact and to find solutions to perform this upgrade. And Huawei has spent a lot of energy with us, has lent us also some storage capacity, so that at the end we could perform this upgrade and move back to a normal situation. So now let's go to the second use case. The second use case, it's an RFP that we have answered in strong partnership with Huawei. The need was to deploy a private cloud solution to manage, store, and archive CCTV flows for a big transportation operator in France. In terms of volumes, it's about 50,000 video cameras. It's 400 terabytes per day to record, with 14 days retention policy, and so in total, 6 petabytes of data. This is a highly secured environment with legal constraints. We cannot stop recording the flows, And so we had also to deploy a very high availability environment, dual DC, and high availability database. So how have we answered with Huawei? So we have deployed at the end the OceanStor 5510 solution. This provides hybrid storage, so with near-linear SAS to absorb the video flows, and SSD to host the VM with the right level of performance. This storage is very cost-effective. It is adapted to high throughput, and so this answered very well the needs. But what is important is the way we have delivered. To start with, we had deployed another Huawei solution based on OceanStor 2600 and 5500. But during the deployment, we have seen that the level of performance that the application required was much more than we were able to deliver. So once again, we went to crisis mode with Huawei, and together we found a solution. So we had to upgrade to this OceanStor 5510. So Huawei has been able to deliver very fast this new solution, and we have been able to perform a live upgrade, so with limited customer impact, and at the end, we could recover a good situation and making the customer happy. So you have seen in these two different use cases how combining Orange with Huawei, we can provide this kind of solution. We can adapt to any kind of issues to answer your needs. Now, with AI coming, we see that the needs are much more different. We have much more data center needs. We need to provide more power, more capability, more compute, GPUs. And we need also to adapt the storage to manage the data lifecycle from training to inference. Orange has some return on experience with all internal usage within Orange Group, with our live intelligence offer, and Huawei has great storage capabilities, as you have seen before. And together, combining Orange as a trusted partner and Huawei capabilities, we can be there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric and Christoph, for your really informative presentations. Today, we've talked about many new products and solutions, and this is all the result of Huawei's continuous investment in R&D and non-stop innovation with global technical experts. But what are we working on for the future? Well, now let's invite David Slick, Chief Scientist of Data Storage at Huawei Fields Research Center, to introduce how Huawei continuously explores and evolves around data storage.
Hello, my name is David Slick. I'm the Chief Scientist of Data Storage at the Huawei Fields Research Center, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to talk about some of the areas we've been exploring that hopefully will end up resulting in a lot of value for everyone here over the coming years. So we're in the midst of an epochal transition, and we're all asking the same questions. How do our businesses grow and thrive in a world where we can augment and scale individual and organizational intelligence? We've gone through a transition from the initial deployments of AI technology, generative AI that was used for experiments, deployed initial applications such as chatbots, research applications, etc. And now we're starting to see real deployments of business-critical applications in the form of agentic AI. But this is just the beginning. We have some idea of where this is going, and there's going to be surprises, and we have to be ready for those surprises. Beyond agentic AI, we're starting to see AI being deployed with an increasing ability to influence the world around it and respond to the world around it. Physical AI, where the agents are able to respond to their environment dynamically, probably the most common use case that people are familiar with is the development of autonomous vehicles. And we're starting to see situations where within an organization, it's not just people and technology with a hard boundary. The people and technology are working together more tightly, collaborating. As we see agent technologies becoming more capable, being able to take on additional tasks, being able to provide autonomous operation, they become partners. And just like in our organizations, we're going to see a lot of the challenges that we have with our people organizations start to have analogous challenges in our agentic organizations. It wouldn't be surprising if for a few years in the future, there's an organizational role that's similar to HR for dealing with issues arising from agent deployments. So one answer we already know about where this is going is that data storage is at the core of success. Data trains the models, fine-tunes the models for business-specific applications, augments the context for inference, brings in the real-time awareness, and retains all of the records of operation. Storage is where the feedback loops are, and the feedback loops are where the value comes from. Your stored data is what makes you you. As AI transitions from content generation to task automation to enterprise-level autonomy, data storage must also evolve from single-point support from agents to taking on a core role of enabling the agent harnesses, coordination of agents, execution, evaluation, feedback, review, observation, all of these tasks that we already have within our enterprises. We haven't typically thought of these necessarily as IT parts of our enterprise, but they're becoming more and more important as we build these structures. Some of the most valuable deployment models, templates that are being used for agents is looking at how does our organization work with people and how can agents fit in to those organizational structures. Can we learn from our people side of the business to build these agentic systems that work together? So as these AI agents become increasingly integrated into our business processes, what are the emerging challenges? And I want to talk about 3 top ones that we've been looking at from a research standpoint, and then talk about some early directions that we've been exploring to help bring solutions to these challenges. So the first one is efficiency and cost. Typically in an organization's AI journey, there's an initial discovery, evaluation phase, there's some early wins, there's deployment, and then you get the bill. And you're like, how can I scale this? I see the value, I want to go in this direction, but it's costing me so much. What do I need to do to be able to deploy this sustainably? After all, the value of the agents has to exceed the costs. We're not in the business of doing things that cost more than the value. So one thing that we found is carefully integrated hardware and software storage technologies can significantly reduce the energy costs, both embodied in the hardware and consumed during operation. And these benefits continue to grow as the context lengths grow. We want more accurate AI. We want more reliable AI. The key to this is bringing in the information to allow the AI to make these decisions reliably and accurately. And often this requires bringing in more context. When we look at people who are experts in their job, What makes them reliable and accurate? It's they have the context. They understand that aspect of the business. They've seen it before. They know the edge cases. They can go and say, oh, okay, I've seen this before. I know what to check. I know how to deal with this, etc. Agents need the same thing. They have to bring this context in, and this requires a place to store the context, and ideally, not having to recompute it every time. Every exaflop of compute we can avoid by using storage directly addresses this challenge of reducing cost, reducing energy consumption. The second challenge that I want to talk about is the degree to which we can rely on these technologies. Having sustainable AI will all be for naught if the AI is untrustworthy and unreliable. This is another case where storage plays a critical role. It provides knowledge and memory services that allow the accuracy and trustworthiness to reach the levels required for business operation. And finally, the third challenge is around privacy and security. Deployment of sustainable and reliable AI will still stumble if there's not societal trust, and this is hard-earned and easily lost. AI opens up new vulnerabilities, amplifies existing risks, and is already being used by attackers every day. So we have to make sure that as we bring these technologies in, it's going to be able to ensure that it's safe within the organization, for the customers, and is something that we can rely on from a privacy and security standpoint. Here again, storage plays a key role, enforcing access permissions, keeping personally identifiable information, intellectual property, enterprise data, customer data confidential, and enabling rollback when things go wrong. This is something that already happens within our organizations. We already have systems that we've built to handle when someone does make some mistake. What we need to do is have analogous processes as part of our agentic systems, and storage can help enable that. So let's spend a little bit of time introducing some future technologies that Huawei has been working on. First, I want to talk a little bit about high bandwidth flash, bringing NAND flash and the data it stores closer to the AI accelerator. This technology transforms traditional NAND, enabling massively parallel I/O throughput, increased capacity, and reduced cost all at once. It's very rare in the industry when we see this type of win-win-win arrangement. High bandwidth flash doesn't just enable longer context for the agents. It doesn't just reduce the energy consumption by reducing data movement. It lets us fundamentally incorporate the AI accelerators as an integral part of the storage system, allowing the right data to be at the right place at the right time. But storing the data is only half of this challenge. We still need to be able to get the data to where it needs to be when it needs to be there. Our second big innovation is bringing together storage, computing, and networking technologies to eliminate the complexity and costs of multiple duplicate networks. This doesn't just reduce cost, it increases efficiency. Storage can now be directly connected to AI accelerators using a converged high-performance, low-latency network, eliminating a myriad of inefficient protocol conversions, memory copies, and queues. All of these result in faster AI and lower energy consumption and a better deployment experience, both for IT and for the customers that are ultimately being provided value from these AI services. And with the AI kernels being able to interact directly with storage, this allows us to push parts of the compute that are best performed close to the storage into the storage system itself, further accelerating techniques such as KV caching and vector retrieval. Accuracy and trustworthiness requires new storage interfaces and new storage technologies. Alongside our traditional storage interfaces, file, block, and object, we have been developing new AI interfaces to quickly find the right data to load into AI agents' context to improve accuracy and trustworthiness. We call these knowledge services and memory services, as they allow an AI to understand relationships, context, logic, and semantics of the data, as well as understanding how this knowledge is intertwined with each agent's thinking process over time. Just having data that, for example, a customer record in a database that says, here's their past buying profile and their preferences, without the context of understanding that you can correlate that with, okay, here's the options for a customer with this profile, here's potential risks, here's historical data about buying preferences, here's how you can interact to provide offers, etc., bringing all these contexts together on business-specific scenarios. That's what allows the agent to really take advantage of this knowledge, not just the raw data, all of the relationships, to be able to provide additional value, and to have the guardrails to know, okay, watch out for this. This mistake happened in the past. To remember things that worked well, to remember things that didn't work well, to have those guardrails, and to be improving over time. These new interfaces require the storage system to create AI-ready knowledge representations of stored data. So we can't just take our traditional data, our files, our database tables, etc., and expect the AI to be able to reach its maximum potential without doing some degree of transformation. You have to be able to extract the relationships, and fortunately, one of the best ways to do that is to leverage AI agents themselves to be able to perform these data extraction, processing, cross-checking, analysis to bring out the knowledge representations of the stored data. And this allows the agents to retain, reason about, incorporate this new knowledge into the thinking process, and as it generates data as the output of its thinking process, incorporate that into its knowledge as memory. This is critical because it allows storage to enable something called explainable AI. Explainable AI is where you can look at the process. Here was the request. Here was the input data. Here was the thinking process as the AI. Here's where it went out and used a tool or searched from another resource and then thought some more and came to a conclusion and made a change. When you have explainable AI, that all becomes visible. It becomes observable, and you can see how the system is performing its job. And this isn't just useful for us. This is useful for agents that can then analyze the behavior of other agents to determine, are they working correctly? Can they work better? How do we improve? True agentic co-pilots for your AI-driven business processes. In the area of security, we've been working on multiple technologies to detect, prevent, recover from these new and emerging risks. First of all, we're working on a unified permission system that ensures that once access permissions are specified, the access controls are enforced regardless of how the data is accessed, be it through a database, a file system, or an AI knowledge system, vector database, or KV cache. This is a big gap right now, and something that keeps people up at night. Am I losing my access control? Do I have confidential information that the agent, it's so good at finding these connections, can it ferret out this confidential information that's not supposed to be disclosed and disclose it because the access controls weren't enforced at a fine grain throughout the entire system? Second, we're working on agent state transaction engine, where intermediate agent states can be temporarily retained to allow for real-time supervisory analysis and detections of issues, and to allow for proactive rollback and resumption when issues are detected. Third, we're enabling separation of confidential data and compute to allow a single infrastructure to handle both general and high confidential data without risk of leakage. These combine to create three key properties: explainable AI, reversible AI, and constrained AI. Finally, I'd like to highlight 6 areas where we're working hard to solve your current and future storage challenges. First, we continue to strive to reduce the gap between HBM and NAND to enable high bandwidth flash to bring capacity increases and cost reductions to more and more AI workloads. Second, AI has made everybody's data so much more valuable. But what do we do when data is simultaneously too valuable to delete, yet too expensive to store? Major breakthroughs in archival storage capacity and cost are required to allow us to retain and preserve the immense volumes of data that are being captured and generated. Third, in addition to improving efficiency by moving data to compute and moving compute to data, we also extend this into the network itself, allowing data to be processed and stored in the network. Fourth, as we look towards knowledge representations, we have to be careful to avoid creating data sprawl, where many different copies and variations of the data exist in different formats and places. This is a real killer for agent systems. If it goes out and it asks, what's the state of X, what's the value of Y, and it gets different answers, how can it tell which is the right one? You have to be very careful that there's either one answer or that answer has enough context to know, oh, well, it was this, and then it changed for this reason, and now it's this, etc. Data copies don't just cost you money now, they reduce your accuracy. Fifth, as agent technologies continue to rapidly develop, the best approaches for representing knowledge and relationships and providing fine-grained security to prevent information leakage has to be taken into account in these knowledge graphs. And finally, we need to enable greater visibility into the lifespans of storage under different workloads to allow it to be treated as a predictable consumable. As storage becomes more and more critical, we need to make sure that there's this visibility. So we're very excited about what's coming, and we look forward to hearing from all of you about what areas that we can help you. Ultimately, our innovation is for you and with you, and we couldn't do it without all of your support as our customers and partners. So thank you.
Thank you, David, for giving us a glimpse into the future of data storage. So far, we've heard about cutting-edge technologies, data infrastructure upgrades, and enterprise digital practices. Yet technology is never only about infrastructure and efficiency. Beyond business empowerment, data and technology hold profound power to protect nature and safeguard ecological balance. So now we'll step away from the pure technical perspective. Let's explore the profound connection between data, technology, and nature conservation. Please join me in welcoming Mr. James McBreen, Senior Program Manager, Innovation and Technology for Conservation at the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, to share how data supports nature conservation.
Bonjour, Madame, Monsieur. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Today I want to show over the next 15 minutes why nature conservation is becoming one of the most data-intensive, technologically demanding, and at least from my perspective, and I hope you agree, exciting domains, and the role of how advanced digital infrastructure can transform outcomes for biodiversity. Now, for anyone unfamiliar with this incredible species, this is a female Hainan gibbon. It's the world's rarest primate, only found on Hainan Island in China. In the 1980s, there were just 10 individuals remaining in the wild. Today, there are over 40, so this is considered, by all accounts, one of the conservation successes. but still there's so much work to be done. And what's the role of technology and innovation in supporting this conservation of this and many of the other incredible species we have on planet Earth? But first, some introductions. Who or what is IUCN? The International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, is the world's largest and most diverse environmental network focused on conservation. It was founded in 1948, not too far from here, about 1 hour from Paris in Fontainebleau. We're the global authority on the status of the natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. Our mission is to influence, encourage, and assist societies to conserve the integrity and diversity of nature and ensure that any use of natural resources is both equitable and ecologically sustainable. Here on the right-hand side, you can see some of the global standards, frameworks, and tools. The IUCN Red List you may be familiar with. Over 178,000 species on the Red List currently. Of those, over 40,000 are in some level of, in critical level of conservation. So IUCN is a union composed of over 1,600 members that uniquely brings together governments, civil society, including private sector, and indigenous people organizations from over 170 countries, with one purpose, the purpose of conservation. We have over 19,000 volunteer experts within 7 global commissions. These are experts on every conservation topic, species, and landscape imaginable. Together we are one union, and we're united for nature. Today, conservation is no longer a field notebook and binoculars as it once was. It is increasingly multimodal sensing, high-resolution imagery, genomics, and artificial intelligence, AI. The volume, velocity, and variety of data are exploding, and without robust storage, compute, and pipelines, we simply can't turn that data into timely, actionable conservation decisions. Critically, the technology and the solutions which are being deployed should be or must be anchored in rights-based data governance and science-based frameworks. And this is to ensure the integrity of the solution, but also the sustainability of the solution in order to have buy-in from the very beginning in terms of the development and deployment of these solutions. Across the world, conservation is being transformed by a suite of technologies. Let's look at a few of them. Camera traps, acoustic sensors, environmental DNA, animal-borne sensors, drones and satellite imagery, citizen science and mobile apps, and AI-driven analytics. Each of these generates huge volumes of data, and each requires robust digital infrastructure to turn raw data into actionable insights. But collecting data alone is only the beginning. We need platforms and tools to help rangers in their planning and implementation of their patrols, to support and help communities and local governments, national governments, assess and respond to threats, and help scientists, conservation practitioners understand better the species and ecosystems. But they rely on robust digital infrastructure, storage, and compute. And I would encourage you, if you're interested in learning more about some of the technology-enabled solutions, to scan the QR code on the screen behind me, which will take you to the Panorama Solutions platform, where we have almost 40 solutions currently, part of the next exciting initiative that I'm about to introduce to you all. So when conservation standards, technology, and local leadership align, impact becomes scalable. This is the strength of Tech for Nature, the IUCN and Huawei partnership for global conservation. It was launched in 2020. We combine IUCN's global conservation standards together with Huawei's technological expertise, local partners, knowledge, and expertise. So together we're building digital solutions for protected and conserved areas worldwide, directly supporting the global biodiversity framework, particularly on Target 3. Target 3 is the 30 by 30 target, which says that we must endeavor to achieve 30% of land, water, and oceans under conserved restoration sustainable management by the year 2030. That date is very quickly approaching. Tech for Nature shows us what's possible when nature conservation, data, technology, and local knowledge and values work as one system, delivering measurable conservation results. So currently, there are 11 active projects across 9 countries with multiple ecosystems and an equally diverse number of place-based conservation challenges. We develop targeted digital solutions that aim to improve the management effectiveness and the governance at this protected and conserved area site level. These solutions include AI-enabled species detection, acoustic networks for migratory species, and data informing national biodiversity platforms and community-driven monitoring. Now, just won't go through all of them because of the time, but I would encourage you to check out the website. It gives you further information on all of them. We'll be going into a little bit more detail in just 2 of the flagship projects today. And yeah, please do. I'm happy to exchange also after today's presentation. So in Spain, we're using AI, acoustic monitoring, and remote sensing to support conservation. Now, the starting baseline here was there was missing data on a very important species locally, which was a Bonelli's eagle, which is critically endangered at the regional level in San Lorenzo, which is about 1 hour from Barcelona, and the need for real-time data on visitor impact to biodiversity. So by enabling solutions using technology to allow us to better understand what the impact is of the proximity and the volume of visitors, park users, different stakeholders within a protected or natural reserve to what the impact potentially could be on different species. In this case, Bonelli's eagle and other rock-dwelling species. In the next video, it's a 1 minute, 20-second video. We'll hear more from my colleagues and partners, just a little bit about the project. Thanks.
We only have 1 pair of Bonelli's eagle here. And that gives me a sense of responsibility. We gather a lot of information about these endangered species. We use GPS trackers and also some cameras to understand more about the behavior of the species itself. We are collaborating with the Huawei Tech for Nature program. This is the program that supports the conservation of nature.
In the past, it was more difficult to have so much information. Technology has helped us to visualize the whole territory.
We actually got an egg, finally, and we were really excited to see what was happening. In the end, it was not a successful reproduction. We managed to deduct from it that the cause was the heavy rains and also the lack of food, which was something that the park management didn't know. This technology will continue to evolve, and we will have new opportunities, and we will improve how we are able to manage our protected areas.
So with a combination of 11 acoustic monitoring devices, 11 infrared camera traps, light sensors and other environmental sensors, GPS trackers, all uploading data to Huawei Cloud, this is improving species detection, informing management decisions, and critically strengthening long-term monitoring of the species and the ecosystem itself. Now, moving across the Atlantic to Mexico, since 2022, Tech for Nature Mexico has been harnessing the power of AI, camera traps, ecoacoustic monitoring, and community-centered approaches to monitor jaguars in the Zilam de Bravo Nature Reserve, which is in the Yucatan Peninsula, an incredible region of the world. In a landscape where mangroves, wetlands, and forests shelter species that are often difficult to observe, these tools are making biodiversity data and information visible, and importantly, informing decision-making. So the starting point here was essentially missing reliable data to support effective jaguar management. There was an ongoing conflict between certain cattle ranchers experiencing the impact of having jaguars nearby. Effectively, the jaguars are going and feeding off the calves and some of the cattle, and that obviously is a complexity that is mitigated if we can better understand the number of species, the total area that that species would benefit from having in terms of reducing that human-wildlife conflict. So far, the project has analyzed more than 80,000 images and videos, over 600,000 audio files, and over 140 species have been documented, some of which we can see on the screen behind me today. There are 40 of these species under some category of risk under the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species I mentioned earlier. But critically here, a really exciting piece is the ability to track at least 16 individual jaguars across the wider landscape. Now, with the convolutional neural network model developed, we can identify, is it a jaguar, yes or no? If it is a jaguar, is it the same jaguar that passed yesterday, this same camera? If it is, well, then we can say that's jaguar 1. So we can identify up to 16 individuals, and we can track these jaguars along the corridor. And we know that with that large number of jaguars, you're going to need a very large protected area. And this is informing policy at the Yucatan Peninsula level, where the subnational environmental authority established an increased buffer, a larger area of conservation for a connectivity corridor, so the jaguar can move freely and reduce, therefore, the impact that it could potentially have on some of the cattle ranching and other activities in the area. So again, it's a combination of acoustic sensors, infrared cameras linked to the Huawei cloud. One of the outputs of Tech for Nature Mexico, which I think is also really exciting, is Bioscanner. Now, this is an AI-powered biodiversity monitoring platform for wildlife research and conservation teams worldwide. It combines continuous monitoring, AI-supported data processing, and structured community participation. And it's a really valuable tool to understand across the 17 range states of the jaguar in Latin America what types of data is coming out, what types of shared learning and approaches can help inform decision-making for the long-term conservation and successful reproduction of the jaguar at the Latin America level. Call to action. So if we bring together conservation knowledge and standards, conservation management practices, local knowledge and values with technological expertise, we can really drive conservation success at scale. So let me close with this. Data and digital infrastructure are already shaping the future of nature conservation. There are opportunities to work together and to leverage the expertise from both sectors, the networks, the expertise, the resources, to go develop scalable, responsible AI and digital infrastructure for nature, to contribute to open standards and open science, which is going to help increase the scale of the conservation successes around the world, to support infrastructure across the world, but especially in under-resourced regions, and of course, joint innovation challenges. We launched an innovation challenge on blockchain, on AI-enabled Internet of Things, and on gamification under the last phase of Tech for Nature, with some really exciting results. We need engineers, we need data scientists, AI specialists, conservation practitioners, communities, policymakers to work together. If we get this right, we can build a future where technology strengthens our relationship with nature, not weakens it. A future where ecosystems and species are monitored, protected, and restored with the best tools humanity can offer. A future where nature thrives. Let's unite for nature. Thank you.
Thank you, James, for your really enlightening speech. Data awakening, infra evolving. Today, we have enjoyed a feast of thought-provoking ideas, allowing us to move calmly and confidently into the AI era. Technical progress and customer requirements have always been the driving force for the continuous growth of Huawei data storage products. In the future, we also hope to help more customers succeed in the era of intelligence. That brings today's keynote to an end. We also have plenty of sessions and roundtables, as well as a wonderful exhibition waiting for you to explore. And in the evening, we look forward to seeing you back here for music, food, and prizes. So now you can just follow the guidance on the screen and enjoy your lunch. Thank you all for joining us.